Today I will be talking about the overview of our report Heroism. First will be Chris Loney's perspective about heroic leadership, wherein he discusses about the four pillars of the Jesuit leadership principles and how these principles are applied as of today's secular world. Second, Loney's years in business, that leadership challenges, especially how to recruit and mold leadership in one's company's team, which is a universal corporate challenge faced by all companies throughout the world and throughout time. Third, how he faced and overcame the challenges developing successful leadership in the corporate environment. Lastly, the four principles don't come from a Jesuit book or leadership instruction manual. It is guided by individual Jesuits, and the same four formed the basis of Jesuit corporate culture.
Heroism. So, in heroism, first is the employment of constant personal motivation as a method of motivating others. Looney does not suggest great leaders must necessarily emulate the likes of Luke Skywalker or Hercules by tackle some monstrous few in mortal combat. Second, a good leader is constantly striving with conviction towards improvement and growth, and emanating belief that such improvement is not only possible but necessarily to their very sense of being. Because Loney's argument runs as follows, such as leaders' conviction and belief will inspire those they lead to follow their example and strive themselves for such lofty goals. Third, therefore, the leader is effective in proportion to the amount of self-belief and determination or heroism she can project. Example, we are all used to hearing people tell us that their favorite teacher was the one who had the greatest genuine passion for pursuit of their subject, and it is sentiment we had we had probably expressed ourselves. Fourth, much of leadership is the setting example. In the classroom, setting an example of heroic pursuit of knowledge and skills acquisition is the laying of a trail of inspiration that students will eagerly follow. The Jesuit team did three distinct things to their aspiration into a reality. The challenge for individuals, teams, and companies today is how to move from clinical going through the motions performance to motivated, even heroic performance, while many companies aspire outstanding performance within their field. First, they invited recruits to run a cooperate aspiration into a personal mission. Second, they created a company culture that stressed heroism, modeling the virtue themselves. Third, they give each person the opportunity to enlarge himself by contributing meaningfully to an enterprise greater than his own interests.
These are some of the few characteristics of heroic leadership and heroism. First is, Loyola's most powerful practical insight about heroic leadership was that it is self-motivated. Next, indifferent Jesuits stood poised waiting for a heroic ambitious goal to inspire them to spring into action. This means that the Jesuit saints always had a striving motivation to take action effectively. The moment they set a goal, total victory was the aim. Early Jesuits captured this aggressive drive into a one-word motto called magis, which means more. Magis is the urge to always look for something more in every opportunity and the conviction that one will find it. Jesuits are encouraged to always choose the strategic option that is more favorable to their goal. They always seek to imagine whether there is a better way to solve a certain problem or accomplish a greater project. Next is if making the mission personal and creating a supportive culture were two ingredients for instilling heroism, the third one was giving each individual the opportunity to contribute meaningfully. Jesuits believe in what Frederick Herzberg, a behavioral psychologist, observed that you cannot motivate anyone to do a good job unless he has good job to do. Jesuits had many good jobs to do and heroism emerged to fill them. Next is, the built-in energy of Magis pointed always towards some better approach to the problem at hand or some worthier challenge to tackle. Jesuits declines going with the flow and are instead always prepared to take action whenever a better path presented itself. Good leaders share this edginess, always questioning posture that are a little ahead of the curve. It makes them pointed towards the future, towards some solutions or opportunities that others might miss or might be too timid to discuss. Next point would be Magis-driven leadership. The continued focus on what lies ahead and on what more ambitious goals can be achieved remains the only reliable way to ensure that important parts of the vision and mission remain vital and are not overlooked or discarded. Leaders imagine an inspiring future and work hard to shape them rather than passively watching the future to happen around them. Jesuits believe that above and beyond performances happen when teams and individuals aimed higher. And the last point would be heroes extract gold from the opportunities at hand rather than waiting for golden opportunities to be handed to them. The Jesuits built their company with this idea. They embodied total team effort in something that was larger than any one Jesuit. Individual commitment was then followed by team commitment. Each members went through the process of personally shaping and owning the team's goals, generating his own great desires, and motivating himself.
So, in conclusion, we are all leaders and we are all leading all the time, often in small, unintended ways. Uh, the Jesuit model reveals that everyone has influence, good or bad, large or small, all the time. A leader seizes all available opportunities to influence and make an impact. Such as circumstances will present a few people with world changing, defining moments, opportunities, but will most enjoy no such big time opportunities in their lifetimes. So, a leadership should not be defined by the scale of opportunities but by the quality of the response. So, a heroic leadership invites uh, people to assess their daily impact, to refocus if necessary, and to articulate the leadership marks that they want to make. It invites them to to replace accidental leadership with uh, purposeful leadership of self and others. And the four principles such as the self-awareness, ingenuity, love, and heroism must form of one way of living, and not to be as one modo de proceder. No early Jesuit succeeded by only adapting the three principles and ignoring the fourth one. So it should be the four principles must be applied in order to succeed. And the last one, in order for us to understand Jesuit leadership, we must first dissect it to study the four core elements and then conclude by reassembling them to bring Jesuit leadership to life. So that's all. Thank you.